This next segment, can it last? And we're not talking about can it last in other areas. We're talking about on the football field, in the
Yeah,
win
I hear you,
column.
baby.
Can it last on the football field? Right now, there's 4 teams that are doing really well, that are at top of their division. 3 of them are 3-0. How do we feel about the Steelers being 3-0, first place in the AFC North, and they got a 2 lead on the Ravens and the Browns, and then they got a 3-game lead against the Bengals? How do we feel about them? Can it last?
So if I think about the division, Cleveland's just kind of all over the place. They didn't continue with the momentum from last year, obviously starting off bad versus the Cowboys. They're struggling, man. And defense is going to be what it's going to be. Deshaun Watson just not panning out. So I just don't see them catching up at all. I just see this being kind of a roller coaster all year. They may play good one week and then it's just, but ultimately you can kind of see what they are. Cincinnati, they not showing me much. Joe Burrow has played better, but I just, collectively as a whole. Now we talk about Baltimore, you guys, I still feel like you guys are going to win the division. Very winnable game, week 1. A lot of mistakes you guys made. Clearly should have won week 2. And you guys just got your first win. But if you guys, when you get these leads, can hold these leads, like top to bottom, team's not better than you guys. I don't believe that Pittsburgh's better than you guys. I think defensively they're playing better right now, and they just have a great formula over the first 3 weeks. But is it sustainable? Yes. Do I think they can win the division? No. So, no, I still think Baltimore is going to win the division.
Yeah. All right, now let's go to the next one. The Vikings, 3-0, first place in the NFC North. Ooh-wee.
I know.
1 game leads
They are
over
legit.
the Lions and the Packers.
Yeah.
Darnold does have a knee bruise, though. No structural damage, you know, but can it last?
Yes,
and
can.
I'll go first. I'm going to go first. I know you said this, but I'm going to go first. I think these dudes are for real. Why? Because Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores could be arguably the best tandem in football, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They're
drawing it up.
I mean, they're electric right now on offense and defense. Their schemes are both tough. They're fun. They're different. They're swaggy. They just power to the strengths of their players. You have guys going crazy on defense. I think they got 5+ sacks in their first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
You had Brock Purdy after the game say, woo-wee. Basically, he was seeing ghosts. I mean, he didn't say that. Don't quote me on that. But that's Flores, essentially he was saying. Hey. But Brian Flores is definitely getting them boys right on defense, and they're playing at a high level. I do think it can last of them playing well. I don't know about winning the division. It's still early for me to say that because the Lions are still for real and the Packers are still for real. I think that and the Bears are competitive. I just think that division, all in all, is going to be a bloodbath, just like the AFC North is every single year. I think that one is starting to become another one with those 3 to 4 teams all being very, very competitive.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's a tough division. To answer the question, yes, it is very sustainable because of the reasons you gave, man. Brian Flores, Brock Purdy said, man, the defense is tough. Brian Flores said, yeah, I know. He looked like, yeah, I know it was supposed to be. But the way they're drawing it up is just, they're drawing it up on defense. Sam Darnold is playing lights out, and he's throwing to Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in all of football. That's not fair. It's just they have a great collection of riches right now, and they're maximizing it. And that's just what it is. But to your point,
they're maximizing the strengths.
Yep. To your point, Detroit, yes, they lost to the Bucs, but then they shook back and they essentially kind of clearly beat Arizona. you look at the score, they only lost by 10, but the game really wasn't close all game.
Okay, what about the controversy play, though?
Which one?
The one where he was before the 2-minute warning, they said that the clock was dead, but it was set hike and it was a pick for 6.
Oh, yeah.
And they called it the clock. And I know the clock is different from sometimes what the fans see versus the players. They have their own personal clock. I thought that was a crazy play, though.
Yeah, and that replay assist, man, they got to figure out when this replay assist applies and when you can use it, and they just got to figure that out. Whatever they don't want to call a review, replay assist, whatever the term you want to use is. This is McCoy and Van Noy. This is not NFL Network or CBS. This is a review. Like, we ain't got to be politically correct in that aspect. It's a review, whatever. But yeah, man. But to your point, Green Bay is Matt LaFleur, man. That dude somehow
he's a good coach.
Figures it out. Man.
He's a
Matt
good coach.
LaFleur
I mean, he's got Malik Willis playing good.
I don't want to say he's like Mike Tomlin, because Mike Tomlin has sustained this, but he's in that mold of just give me solid pieces and I'll make it work.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach, man. He coaching it up, man. And Chicago.
I remember going against him in 2017 when he was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, and he had Marcus Mariota, and our game plan was, to go down there and make it hard for Marcus Mariota, and he's going to scramble, blah, blah, blah. No, this dude was sitting in the pocket making throws left and right, and then they were handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. They whooped our ass. But just the schemes and how he gets the most out of his guys is so impressive, man. Their guys are ready to play. Malik Willis comes in in 2 weeks and is running the offense, not obviously perfect, but to a point where they're giving the Tennessee Titans, who have a pretty solid defense, problems. I also know they had a pick 6 in the game, but they're putting up 21 points or 20 points with Malik Willis. I mean, it's impressive, man. You got to give
Josh
credit.
Jacobs is running the lights out of the football too.
Facts.
He's
and
running
their defense
the lights.
had, I think, 8 sacks in the game. So they're just getting it done. But we'll go on to the next candidate last. You got the Seahawks, 3-0. Mike Mack, former DC, getting them boys right in Seattle. They have a 2-game lead on the Niners, Rams, and Cardinals. What do you think about Seattle? Can it last?
I think Seattle is playing well right now.
There was kind of well right now, but there's a but.
Yes. I just don't want to write off the 49ers yet, dealing with some injuries. And they just kind of figuring it out. It's early, man. Killer. You got 2 Super Bowl rings. The first 3 weeks will lie to you. It will
it's
lie
about 4
to
or 5 weeks. I feel you on that.
Yeah, it will lie to you. And I like to go with the teams that I've seen have sustained success and they know how to win. So is it sustainable? I'm not sure yet. I can't answer that with the Seahawks. The 49ers, I'm not writing them off. They just cover, like last year, they had a couple rough games, but then boom, 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 Super Bowl. It's just, there's no Christian McCaffrey. Devo still, he's hurt. They Kittle didn't play. They just all over the place, man. They going through it right now. So
I think it's too early too.
I'm not off the Cardinals. I'm not off the Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying. That whole division again is a super competitive division. You can see all 4 teams making the playoffs. They all have a quarterback that can distribute the ball. Offensive coordinators on all 4 do a really good job making it hard. Defensive coordinators make it hard. I think it's just a tough division. I love Mike Mack. I'm not saying it can't, and I'm not saying he can't either.
Right.
I just think it's too early.
It's too early to see. Yeah, we haven't seen enough to see, but I'm not off the Cardinals. No, I know I didn't expect the Rams to beat the 49ers because the 2 of the best offensive players they have were hurt. So it's like, what happens now?
But Matthew Stafford, man, and
he's one of those. I'm telling you, he one of those award-winning chefs.
He's one of them ones. I think I think he doesn't get enough credit.
No, he does not.
Like, I just think what he does, especially with the O-line that he's had to play with, it's impressive. But let's go to the last candidate last. Commanders, 2-1. First place in the NFC East. Did you see that coming?
Heck no, I didn't.
Do you think it can last?
No, I didn't see it coming. I watched them play against my Bucks, and I said, I don't really know. I will say this. Week 1, I didn't look at the numbers with Jaden Daniels. I looked at how he handled pressure, how he played week 1, and how he moved around, how he ran the offense. And I said, hey, it's something to this kid. It's something to him, and he's getting better every week. Is this play that they're playing right now sustainable? Yes. Is winning the division? I don't know yet, because Philly is hit or miss, but Philly is top to bottom the best team in the division. And Philly, if they play like Philly, they can really, like, I don't want to say walk through, because this is still the competitive division, but Philly's still the favorites in this division. I don't know where the offense is coming from with the Cowboys. If it ain't CD, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. Mike McCarthy, he's taking over play calling, but the play calling is just it's just real blah. It's like, where's the creativity and all the, and then you talk about the Giants. The O-line is playing better. Daniel Jones played much better last week and the week before. That defense, that D-line, man, that goddamn Dexter Lawrence, that dude is a monster, man. That dude.
Is he one of them D tackles that
He's one of them ones. And the thing is with Dexter Lawrence, he's still one of those two-gap type guys, but he still, that lets you know how good he is with the style that they're playing. But that dude, man, that goddamn Dexter Lawrence, he good. That dude's good.
I like him too. I think he's real good.
Right now,
what do they call him? Sexy Dexy?
Sexy Dexy.
Yeah.
He got 3 sacks on the year. And I feel like
that dance is crazy.
It's hilarious. But I think that as far as the question goes, yes, what the Commanders are doing right now, they're running the ball. They're running the ball very well. Jaden Daniels is running when he needs to. He's learning to slide and get down. He's so poised in the pocket. They got Scary Terry, really good weapons. They can get after the quarterback. They're playing, like, Dan Quinn got these guys playing really good football. And this level of football is sustainable. Now, there are levels to good football, but the level they're playing at, yes, it's sustainable. And nobody should think that the Washington, you're going to go in there or they're going to come see you and going to be a pushover. You are going to have
definitely
a rough day on your hands dealing with the Commanders moving forward.
Oh, yeah. I agree. And I totally agree. You're going to have a tough day on your hand with the Commanders. They're playing inspired by Dan Quinn on defense, and then offensively, they're getting their mojo with Jaden Daniels. It's impressive.